Glad to have you back on another edition of Making the Leap. This is a fun one because every now and again we come in-house and we talk to some of the members of the team and the staff that make up the Herzog Foundation. You know, we do the podcast here in the studio of the foundation every week. And anytime there's something new about this foundation, particularly when it can invite you in, we like to tell you about it. And by that, I mean the ambassador program. This is new.
And like we were kind of talking about, this was a brand new thing. We were approached, said, hey, will you talk to a few people about this, kind of share what it is? And we were so excited to do this because this is one of the neatest things about Herzog is all the different ways it is reaching out, in not just to parents, not just to teachers, not just to the community, but also to our young adults that are graduates, crucially important to this idea of furthering and promoting Christianity.
So yeah, you
students.
get like K through 12,
Yes.
and then after 12, then what?
Right,
Like,
where do you go?
Are we done? The foundation says no, we're not done.
And parents should be saying no, we're not done. And so we are here today with two of the ambassadors that Herzog has. That we are with Delaney and Ginger. And thank you so much for giving your time to us this afternoon. Excited to have this conversation. Excited to have you with us.
We're excited.
Everyone's pumped. Everyone's happy, right?
So let's just go 30,000 feet and tell folks what the Herzog Ambassador Program is all about.
Yeah. Okay. So we are part of the Herzog mission, obviously, to catalyze and accelerate Christian education across America. But our role is to meet with educators one-on-one, connect with them, Christian educators, and to see how we can better help them, better serve them, through Herzog.
So how did you hear about it? So I'll move to you now. So how did you hear about this program initially to start with? What did that journey, I guess, look like to coming to this point? Just as how, if someone's listening in and they're like, I don't, where do you get started?
So
what is that?
Should we go back to our education, like
Sure.
when we graduated?
Sure.
Okay. So I graduated about 2.5 years ago. It was April 2022.
Okay.
So I graduated from Grand Canyon University.
Okay.
So you guys are post, I was going to ask that.
Yeah.
So let's just ask that.
Yeah.
You're post-college now. You're done.
Yes.
Yeah,
With
we're
school
done.
altogether.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I graduated there, and I got my bachelor's in communications. So from there, I've been working. So I worked in project management here in Kansas City.
Okay.
I also actually worked previously at Fox 4 News.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
just for a little bit though, and then this position got, I guess, rose to me. It got told
Sure.
to me. I had a connection through Vineyard Church.
Okay.
So it was actually with Daryl Jones.
Okay.
Our president.
Who's our
The
president?
yeah.
Yep.
So he had mentioned it to me. He's like, look, I know you have a new position, just something to think about.
Yeah.
And I really feel led because it's just such a different community to be a part of, especially coming from corporate jobs and positions that maybe my employees don't value Christ-like lives. They don't live Christ-like lives. So
You're saying the news media is not full of a lot of...
not necessarily.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was very led to this, more so for the aspect of working with like-minded people.
Sure.
So,
That's
yeah,
awesome.
That's why I
Okay.
came here.
How about you?
Perfect.
So I just graduated from Benedictine College in May, and I was desperately looking for a job that was conservative and Christian in name.
And they're everywhere, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it was like all of a sudden I was like, oh, am I going to have to, compromise my morals? Because I also wanted to work in the news industry. I was a journalism mass comm major.
Okay.
So it just felt like I wasn't going to do what I wanted to do. I was just going to clock in 9 to 5, be another person in corporate America.
Sure.
This job, I don't know how I found out about it, just word of mouth.
Okay.
And I was like so passionate about it when I interviewed. I knew it was the right thing for me, and everything just worked out. It was perfect.
How long have you been with this program so far?
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Yes.
So brand new.
We're new.
Three.
Yeah.
So and again, forgive us a little bit, and for people listening, for just some of our lack of details on this. It's
new to us.
It's new to Herzog, really. So it is just launching and just getting started. So within these 3 weeks that you guys have been doing this, what are some of the where are some of the places you've gone? We'll start there. I don't want to throw 15 questions at you.
Yeah.
What are some of the places you've gone, and what have you done when
Yeah.
you've been there?
Yeah. So we just got back from Columbus, Ohio.
Okay.
Before that, we were just in Grand Rapids, Michigan. We helped with a donor development program, which was really cool because we got to see the educators come in and, work together, work hands-on, to better serve, their
Yeah,
community.
and we got to know the staff pretty well. So the events team, like
Awesome.
Sadie, and we got to know Jane, and
Okay.
it was really cool just because our first week being here, we kind of got loaded with information.
Sure. And it's a lot. It's a lot to take in.
It is a lot. So from all the information we got loaded with, we kind of got to go to the donor development event and just put into practice what we've been learning and understand, how the events run, how the teachers are being taught, and what they're being taught, and it was really interesting and really
Did you
cool.
guys go to Christian school by chance?
As growing up, like
No.
prior to, no.
I
you
went
did
to
not.
public school, and then I went to a private
Benedictine.
Christian school.
Okay.
Which, I think you could be like, well, then why do you care about private Christian school? But going to my college, it was just so powerful to be around so many people like-minded, same faith, same morals. I grew so much in my faith, in my friendships. You just have deeper friendships. It's truly just so different, and I want other kids to be able to experience that before I did, all the way until when I was 18.
Yeah.
Like when you're 5 years old, to be around people like
Yeah.
that, it's so different.
That's amazing. That was a good,
But you came to the area with a family in ministry.
Yes.
Were
That's a
you
little bit
raised in the church?
I was, yeah.
In
so,
school as well?
Not in school. I did for a little bit, I think until first grade, then we moved to public school.
Okay.
So my prior years.
Yeah,
But,
okay.
yeah, I was in public school.
All
so
the way through.
What would
Okay.
you say then? Because this is, she and I are mostly public school kids. You were a
Yeah.
public school teacher.
Yep.
Our kids were in public school until just the last couple of years. That's the whole reason we're here.
Yeah.
So we all share that in common. What would you say as younger women, as you go out and you meet younger women who are maybe starting families, about Christian education versus public today? And again,
Not to
we have
dog
be
on
careful.
public, right? We're not.
Yeah.
We don't
our
want to pick a
caveat.
fight. But I assume you would advocate for Christian school today.
Oh yeah, I
And
mean
why?
it's much different. I mean we're still young.
You're
but I
young
think
enough,
it's
but for you
much
to even
different.
say those
Yeah.
first words, like it's different, is
different.
super telling.
So I'm the oldest of 10. So I have
gosh.
got a lot of
A lot of
I have
siblings.
little
Oh.
siblings in school. They were in public school. My mom's going to homeschool them this year.
She is.
But
okay.
it's just she said it's so different than when you went to school, Delaney. Like they're just changing so much. It's not the same as it was 10, 15 years ago.
And we don't need to give a specific town or city name, but would you say you're in a smaller town?
I'm in a small conservative town, which is truly shocking.
That the schools
yeah.
is
Yeah.
Oh, let's stay
changing.
with that for a second. You're in a small. This is important. This is important. Listen, your family is still in a small conservative town, bringing up school-age kids, and they are seeing in this small conservative town
a big shift.
Big shift in the public school.
Yes.
Enough that they're going to homeschool.
A frightening shift that they are. Yeah, my mom is deciding to homeschool.
And how many
5
will she be
kids.
homeschooling with your?
I think 5. I could be wrong on the exact number. It's hard to keep track, but I think 5.
Can you
God
talk
bless
about
her.
what she's seeing that's different from when you were there and what your siblings are experiencing or had been experiencing?
Yeah, just the curriculum a little bit. When they come home, they talk about things, or just maybe politically how the teachers are talking to the kids.
Okay.
She just noticed a few things in what they bring home from school.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Or even just the conversations other kids have with them, which isn't necessarily something that school can do, but just the community. I mean, it is a conservative town, but the community is still, the culture is changing a little bit. So,
Sure.
so yeah.
That's amazing.
But because you're younger, you have the unique ability to talk about this, whereas we're old heads and maybe can't. So they say, well, this is just about you people congregating and being insular and bubble wrapping and locking yourselves off from the rest of the world. What do you say as a younger person to somebody who would say, Christian education is just about isolating kids and not letting them experience the real world? How would you answer that?
I feel like that's just wrong, because I feel like in a sense it's protection. It's definitely protection. I mean, we want to be exposed to other things as well, but ultimately, isn't that your job as a parent to be able to protect your child?
So you're saying that it's okay that we would want to be in a Christian school setting because we are looking to protect the hearts and minds of our
Yeah,
kids. So
definitely.
that's an okay thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you think that then, do you see experiences, maybe either one of you, to this, that even though we have our daughter in this Christian education, that she is still going to experience the real world?
Yeah,
Oh, definitely.
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 Definitely. And I think a lot of it has to do too with, you know, what's happening at home,
Yeah.
how our parents, you know, how just what is happening at home.
Right, how are they doing?
Because a lot of students bring back to school or back from school to home what they hear in school, and vice versa. So
Sure.
it just really goes back to, you know, what's happening at home.
How many ambassadors are there within this program for you
5
guys?
of us?
5.
Yeah, there's 5
And
of
they
us.
want many more.
Right?
Yeah.
Isn't that their...
Yeah.
I think so.
goal.
I think so.
So
yeah.
here's what I've heard, and you tell me what is right or wrong about this. I heard that the foundation, are building an ambassador program where you would come in and they take care of your living arrangements.
Oh, yeah.
They do.
Explain that a little bit.
So, well, we're not actually there yet, but they are.
Okay.
We are hoping to be there.
We're going to move in this week, I think.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think fingers
Okay.
crossed. Yeah.
Okay.
So they have a duplex located in Smithville,
Okay.
fully furnished.
It's about
very nice.
7 minutes from here. It's super close.
So you
very
live
convenient.
there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
live there.
As roommates, kind of a thing.
As roommates,
Okay.
yeah.
So is it 2 by 2?
There's, I think, 3 rooms in each
Yes.
duplex.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
In each duplex.
So living there, and what is the duration of time? Like, what is the...
A year.
A year.
Year long.
So you're committing to this for a year.
You're convenient. Yeah.
and
Yes.
it's compensated?
It
Yes,
is
It's fully
compensated.
paid. Yeah.
That's amazing.
And travel, we
Also-
travel all across America. I mean, we've been here for 3 weeks and we've traveled to 2 places.
Yeah.
We're leaving next week for Kentucky.
You know, that's
Yeah.
funny because we've gotten to do some traveling as well just through this. And I want to say it's work, but really, he does like the emceeing for the events and things for people, but I go along. But it's been amazing just to be able to get school choice rally, just to be
Yeah.
at different places. And you're right, you get to see and talk with people that I got to, at least, that I never would have had that
No.
chance and opportunity. And I think it's something about at your age starting this, and again, not in a condescending, like you're so young, but to be able to do this while you're young
Yep,
is
yep.
huge
This is
and
kind of-
such a neat adventure.
I don't know if you would agree with the terminology. It feels to me a bit like mission work.
Yeah.
It feels
Do you
like
feel
it.
like it is?
Yeah, it does. It feels like it in the best way.
Yeah.
I mean,
Wow.
I feel like things have happened so quickly lately where I have to take a second. And I've even told them, I'm like, we need to soak this in. Like, this is happening so fast and it's not going to slow down.
No, and it does. It's kind of how we found things
Yeah.
to work. Like it just,
Yeah.
you just go.
It's a year-long commitment, and
Yes.
then
Yep.
you're done?
We're done. We're meeting so many people already through this. We're making so many connections and networking. I think doors will be open to do
Okay.
almost
Absolutely.
anything we want.
So then the idea, then you use this, you're working with Christian education specifically, and then you're able to take this and go where you both specifically said you want to be in a like-minded place. Obviously, there's no, it's not going to be amazing, it's not going to be the perfect no matter what,
Right.
but like to be able to find that through this opportunity, what a cool thing for Herzog.
What do you imagine you might, I know you're just starting, so
Right.
this is a big question. What do you imagine you could see doing after a year of being an ambassador? Or have you even thought that
yeah.
far?
Oh, well, honestly, I'm using this as kind of a tool to figure out what my niches are, what's really driving me and what area I want to go in. So I'm kind of just I'm very open-minded and wanting to try a lot of things, which I think is okay
Yeah.
and necessary for our age.
Right.
So,
Well, no,
yeah.
it's important too. And I know we'll come back to you also to say it, but I think we've, as a society, have pushed, we have an 18-year-old, 17-year-olds, and then a 15-year-old. And I think as parents, we're kind of like, you don't have to make this massive life decision. What am I going to be right now? What am I going to go to school to, for 4 years and then launch right in? That there are different paths to that destination, and destination will probably change. I did not envision doing this when I graduated with my teaching degree, X amount of years ago. I did not see this coming. And so I think it's really great that you are like, I want to check it out. Like I want to see what's, what's happening. And then what about you? What do you think?
Gosh, kind of the same thing as Ginger. I'm open to so many different outlets, but
That's
I'm
awesome.
so passionate about, pro-life, pro-family
Okay.
issues. So I'd love to use my skills to be a part of that movement somehow. I'm interested in maybe journalism or anything with media, that kind.
Which is
Yeah.
great because you're coming across not just teachers. with the events that Herzog has. You're, like you said, the donor development, that's a different forum than a room full of educators. That's a little bit of a different space. So it's important, I think, to know that you are open-minded, because you don't know what you're going to
Do
come
you know,
across.
now I'm putting you on the spot a little bit, sorry if you don't know this, but do you know if there are people watching, listening to this right now, and they're thinking, oh, I could do that, or my son or daughter might be great for that. Do you know how they could do that? How did you guys get involved?
Yeah. So I mean, I think there's somewhere on the website that you can send an application
I think it is,
to.
yes.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of information on that website that we always are encouraging people to look at, and we will find out exactly where for sure. But
we'll
are
put
they
it in the show
still
notes.
taking applications for this? Yeah, right. They are still taking.
They're looking. I mean, we're the first class, but
Okay.
they are looking for
Okay.
this is a, what did they say?
Oh gosh, I'm forgetting the word.
Forgetting the word. Yeah.
But an ongoing, like
Yes.
a like
Ongoing,
okay,
yep.
Yep.
okay.
And the idea would be, I think, if memory serves, I had a dozen in my head. Is that where they want to get to? A dozen ambassadors at a time, or am I misremembering?
I'm not
Sounds
sure.
about right.
Yeah, it sounds right. I'm not sure exactly the goal, but you know, you got to shoot high. You got.
Yeah, like I heard they were building
Just true,
multiple complexes for you to stay and live in for the year. So multiples meaning, like I think I heard in a meeting like 12 of people like you
Yep.
would work in concert. Do you all travel together, or would you be dispersed around the country at the same time?
Right now, we're going together as
Okay.
a team.
The goal is to get. So there's events obviously that we put on. So the goal is to, adjacent to the events that we're going to be running, figure out, oh, there's going to be an event in DC. Okay, let me see what schools I can connect to. Let me see who I can, meet one-on-one with, set those up, go to the training event, and then while you have your meetings, go to your meetings and one-on-ones with other people.
And so your goal is to go out and represent the foundation in teaching and helping develop and train up. I mean, you're to take what you've learned here and share it out there.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
Yep.
Wow. All right.
What has been, I mean, again, I know sometimes I hate when I get asked this, but what so far has been one of the like overriding, like coolest moments or neatest experiences that kind of sticks out so far? I know it's been a whirlwind. I know it's been fast, and it's been a short time, but
I
I'm
like
guessing.
the free house. I'll just say myself.
Yeah.
I think the
I
free
actually was
house
like, can
sounds
I
awesome.
get in on that a little? I like a little escape for,
Yeah.
like what has been an experience that you've had that you maybe wouldn't have envisioned or kind of affected you, or, that you're like, whoa, I'm going to take that with me as I move forward. And you guys are at the beginning of this. So I know there will be
There's a whole
many
year ahead,
more,
really.
right?
Yeah.
When you guys,
My gosh. Well, we just went to one.
Yeah.
okay, so tell us about that. What?
Yeah. So last week in Columbus, Ohio, we went to the Forge Leadership Summit.
Okay.
And so we really didn't know what to prepare for. We
Okay.
kind of did, but also didn't. Before going in there, all we knew is we needed to create our own bill. And so we
Like a
did
legislative
Like a
bill.
legislative
Yes.
bill.
bill.
And we
Okay.
don't have experience with that. So we were like, yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
thinking on your feet type
Yeah.
thing fast. So Forge Leadership Summit.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So we went to that. We got there and we just went straight into all of the lectures, which was amazing. And we heard from incredible people. Like the first speaker that we heard from was a guy from the CIA. And he was talking about him and his wife and how they lived in France and worked for the CIA and went on these missions. And
Wow.
He
yeah.
told
Oh my
the
gosh.
coolest story.
Yeah.
Jim
Coolest
Olsen,
stories.
like you have to look him
Wow.
up. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Jim
That's
Olsen.
awesome.
And the foundation sent you there for what, some training, or you went there for some other reason?
So they wanted us to kind of be experienced with policy in some way, kind of understand how that works. Especially I don't have a lot of understanding, so it was great for me. And then to get to know other young conservatives. Forge is great if you are a young conservative interested in politics. Like
I've never
Yes,
heard of
it
it,
was
so
definitely
that's
go.
amazing.
Definitely
Okay.
go.
Yeah.
Like,
Is
highly
this-
recommend.
Sorry to keep I'm asking you things we probably should have known before we started the show, but is this something that the foundation will send all ambassadors to? Is that your understanding, or no?
I'm not
I'm not
quite
sure yet.
Or
Yeah.
maybe it was just the timing of how it happened that you. But I think what you just
Sounds
said is
great.
really interesting too, because that is something that we have experienced. I've experienced that. I know a little when it comes to policy. I know a little when it comes to legislation. That is only because I hear it from him because of what he does. and then I will share what I know. But it is an area that's super intimidating.
Oh, yeah.
Very overwhelming. Like you said, there's nuances to things that I cannot even begin to try to understand. And so the fact that we're starting here, that Herzog is starting here when we're talking about things like school choice that involve a lot of knowledge around the legislative process, I think this is tremendous that they're not just saying, head out to the Capitol and and figure it out, that you're like, okay, I'm going to start here with this. So I think that's really neat that you're able.
We actually got to go into it was in Ohio, the Ohio State Courthouse. We went into the representative floor and we pretended we were the representatives and passed bills and voted on bills. Yeah. That's probably something I never did.
So what was the bill that you create? You said you had to go there. Okay, create a bill. What was your bill that you?
Mine was on women's protection of sports.
Okay. I love it, which is hot topic, right? And vitally important. So that's amazing. And then what was yours?
Mine was on open enrollment in education.
Awesome. Yeah. I love it. And these are topics that I think a lot of people are intimidated to take on.
Oh, yeah.
When we're talking about a public school arena, when you're basically told not to talk about things like that. So what a great avenue to utilize if you are interested in talking and acting and doing something.
There are so many facets to Christian education, not just the literal instruction, but as you pointed out, donor development, fundraising, staffing, and then in states that don't have education choice. I mean, 9 states have universal education choice right now, but we need many more. And so you guys understanding that process is important too, because I think a lot of schools and people who teach, it's messy and they don't really want to get, there's an advocacy side to this that's just as important as the instruction side of it, right?
Yeah. You guys getting to be those advocates is huge.
How cool is this? Well,
I love it.
We're going to keep leaning on you guys for input as you travel the country. Maybe you'll learn some things and bring it back here and teach us a few things that you've learned on the road.
No, we'd love to come back.
This would be fantastic. It's been
welcome
so
to
fun.
the foundation,
so
and
glad to have you
congratulations on
guys.
being the pioneers of the new Herzog Ambassador program. This is cool.
It's very cool.
Thank you.
Great to meet you both.
Nice to meet you.
And we always will put any information in the show notes down below.
So here's what
Herzog.
we'll do. Let's make sure that we get down below how people can apply for this.
Yes, if that's still an option, which I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
What's
in the
involved,
future.
website, that kind of thing. Information. I would love to know a little bit more about Forge. What you just mentioned. I think that's important. So maybe we can get somebody to put that down there for us as well and kind of help out. As always, leave us when you're listening, leave us those 5-star reviews, leave us comments, information, emails, contact us on, Instagram, all of that. We're always willing to have those conversations, respond. And as always, we will look forward to talking with you next week.
Making the Leap is a podcast presentation courtesy of the Herzog Foundation. Please rate and comment on the show, as well as subscribe so you never miss an episode. And we'll see you next time on Making the Leap.